Psychetruth. Life, wisdom.
Hello, my name is Meera Hoffman and I'm with Houston Chair Massage. And in this video, we're going to be talking about some great techniques for headaches as well as carpal tunnel. So we'll be doing a nice chair massage session for those conditions. So we're going to begin by opening up the back and just saying hello to the back so we can walk our hands up and down the shoulders and along the spine. And you can also see some of my other videos posted on here for some more general techniques for the back. And today, since we're focusing more in the upper neck area, we're going to use some active movement techniques to help release these muscles and alleviate any headaches or pain. So I wanted to ask, do you get headaches more than once a week? Or more than a couple times a month? If so, you'll really benefit from having someone work on you, massaging these areas. So just a little bit of gentle pressure on the shoulders. We can knead upwards, just loosening these muscles. I'm going to go ahead and step over to the side. Working into the neck. And the side of the neck muscles. With some gentle kneading with my thumb. And pressing into the tops of the shoulders. And just gauging kind of where there's any tension or tightness. So we'll start with our first movement, which is a little bit of pinning and rocking. So I'm placing the thumb of my left hand into the muscle belly, and then with my right hand, my outer hand, I'm just kind of moving the shoulder blade up and down. We'll move the thumb a little bit more towards the midline. And continuing to do this, working along the length of these muscles. And just taking our time, doing a little bit more active movement. Engaging the movement of the shoulder to help relax these muscles. And just working fully into any areas that feel tight. Today you can probably hear some chomping noises from my little helper, the dog. Helper / destroyer. So working into the arm a little bit. Just doing some squeezing into the back of the deltoid. and into the bicep. And then we'll come in and squeeze into the forearm. It's kind of rolling the arm a little bit, not the fingers. And we'll pick the arm up and just let it rest along the side here. So encouraging your client to just let their arm be heavy, almost like a little noodle. You want to be able to move it freely. So once you have the arm down and it's nice and relaxed, we're going to do some gentle circular movements just to kind of open up the shoulder. So supporting kind of at the elbow joint and the wrist. And we can really accentuate the circle here, making it bigger. And again, just making sure to check in with your client always. If anything feels uncomfortable, encouraging them to communicate that to you. If you have any shoulder issues, if you've dislocated it or have any shoulder surgeries, this may not be a good technique for you to receive. So as I'm reaching different areas in the rotation, kind of pausing and just really letting Courtney feel these sensations of having these different muscles stretched. So coming back and down, we're getting a nice stretch into the neck here. And if we circle up, we can get a nice stretch into the lats. How's that feeling, Courtney? Okay. And then kind of rotating down again. And just letting the arm relax. I like to give it a little bit of counter twist. Just opening it up. So everything that we do is kind of right in front of us. So I'm just rotating the arm exteriorly, just outwards. Just give it a little bit of a counter stretch there. And coming back into this position that we had with the arm up, there's a few movements that we can do that continue that pinning and rocking or pin and movement series. So just gently placing your forearm onto the top part of the shoulder, that nice meaty part of the shoulder. And then I'm going to slowly pull her arm towards me. At the same time, I'm pressing down with that forearm. So as easy as rubbing your belly and patting your head, right? And just encouraging the receiver to keep their arm relaxed. If you notice it feels like they're trying to help you, you can give it a little bit of a shake, just to send a little bit of biofeedback into that area. So using the movement, just gently back and forth, to help deepen the work that you're doing into the shoulder and base of the neck. Ooh, nice big knot there. And for some people, it may be hard for them to relax their arm. So if that's the case, you can really just let the arm hang and just focus on applying pressure to the top of the shoulder. Another variation of this is you can scoop underneath the elbow, kind of grasping onto the lower part of the upper arm. using that to create the movement while maintaining that pressure with your forearm. So working down onto the back of the shoulders here. And then just kind of releasing that move. You can see your skin starting to get a little bit of redness and circulation, which is good. Starting to open up those areas pretty deeply. So the next part that I'm going to do is a little bit of a pec stretch. So I'm going to traction the arm back, and then with my loose fist again that we've used in some of these other videos, I'm going to just press it just below the collarbone. So Courtney's just sitting up so we can demonstrate what's going on. So clavicle bone is here, shoulder bone is here, the joint here. You're going to be just inside there. So I'm literally just working on this top part of the pec when I do this. And then I'm going to move her arm into it. It's going to give a little bit of counter pressure. So let's have you go back down and we'll demonstrate the movement on the chair. So tractioning the arm back to make a little bit of room for your fists. Making sure that you're not on any bony landmarks. With guys, it's a little bit easier. There's a lot more muscle here. And you don't have to be as cautious because there's not any breast tissue that you have to avoid. So I don't do this on a lot of new clients, but it feels incredible and really can help open up the shoulder, especially if they're having headaches and stuff. All that kind of just trickles into this joint. We can modify this by doing the movement from the back of the shoulder blade, using our outside hand to move the shoulder at the joint. So I kind of picked up a little bit of the muscle connecting into the deltoid. So I'm just continuing our work to the outer part of the arm. And the last little part that I like to do as far as moving the arm when they're in the chair is tucking behind their back. And there's a couple ways that you can kind of hold their arm. So sometimes I'll use my outside of my leg just to pin it. And now you can work all the way along this blade of the scapula, melting into the rhomboids. Doing some nice kneading work, even traction the arm back to get underneath the rhomboids, underneath the scapula a little bit. It's gonna feel nice and yummy if they're shoulders tend to carry a lot of tension. Again, just making sure that this person doesn't have any sort of issues with mobility in their shoulder joints. And we'll release the arm. Then I like to close with just a couple more circles, just to kind of reinforce the work that we've done before bringing the arm down to the armrest. So we'll segue here into some of the moves for the forearm and the hands. So we'll begin by just pinning with your outer arm, the muscles in the forearm. And as I pin, then I'm using my other arm and hand to just gently rotate at the wrist outwards. So using a nice broad pressure with the heel of my hand here. Can go up and down one full pass. And definitely have a little bit more permission to use more pressure in the medial part closer to the elbow. And we can repeat the same thing with all these extensors. Using my thumb, I want to press kind of in the midline of the forearm. Between the radius and the ulna. So again, avoiding any bony landmarks. If you want to switch hands, you can. And the rotation just helps move those muscle fibers underneath that pinpoint. So pressure and then rotation. Really helps open up the muscles and loosen them. All the way up. And we can do the same thing for the inner arm. So pinning and rotating. Kind of rocking, and as you do that rotation, noticing how that kind of makes the muscles a little bit more taut underneath your hands. This is great for people that are on the computer a lot, or that use their hands quite a bit for their work. Just giving some nice forearm work. And just gently prop the hand back into a neutral position. We'll come into doing some work on the hands. So kind of just cupping around the hand with both my hands. Thumbs are up towards the wrist. And you have sort of the bony prominence around the wrist, and you can just make some circles into that area, into the wrist joint. Feels really nice. I also like to just kind of put some pressure, and as I do that with my bottom fingers, just pushing the hand up. You can also use the heels of your hand to kind of squeeze in and apart. And squeezing out the fingers. And repeat that for each finger so they have a nice complete feeling. And down the middle finger as well. So I feel like working this whole corridor kind of from the neck all the way out through the arm really helps open up a lot of the tension that we carry that causes headaches. It's not just localized to the neck, although that is a big part of it. It's good to give that tension and energy, so to speak, if you're into that, a place to go. There's also some good pressure points in the hands specifically for headaches. So working into one of those right now, just coming into sort of that V connection where the finger and the forefinger, the pointer, and the thumb meet. Some nice meaty tissue in here, and you can just kind of sink in. And if your sense of body work is a little bit more developed, you'll feel like a little notch in here and kind of just melt in there. You may even feel a little bit of a pulse. That can feel fantastic to people who are suffering from a headache. Just going to take some of that pressure away. And then this kind of traction, the thumb joint. There's some nice circular movements to kind of release that tension there. We'll come into the hands. So working, I'm just kind of fanning out with my thumb. So literally going up and out. Relax your arm. Working the full surface of the palms onto each joint of the fingers. And then we'll do some stretches for the hand. So we can take the hand and flex it all the way up. If you want to intensify the stretch, you can just use your hand to mirror their hand. And we'll do the opposite direction down. So stretching the back of the hand downwards. Loosen that up, and we can do the same thing for the fingers too. So if they're typing a lot, this is going to feel really good. Start with the pinky, just kind of pressing it up, and then pressing it down. So I'm starting kind of at that closest joint or bone towards the hand, and then just kind of working out towards the tip. And do the same thing with the ring finger. Going up, first bone, second bone, and last bone, and then we'll tuck in, same thing. So a word of caution, if they have any broken fingers, this may not feel comfortable to them, or if they have a lot of restrictions. Just checking in with your client again, letting them know it's totally okay to communicate anything that's going on with your body. And just feeling where that natural stopping point happens. I'm not trying to push past that point of resistance. Coming onto the pointer finger. And some nice flexibility here. This feels really fantastic if you work with your hands. And our hands have so many nerve endings, just like our feet. So working the hands almost gives this complete sensation of a very thorough massage. I'm doing the same thing for the thumb joints. Going up. And then we'll tuck the thumb down into the palm of the hands. So just kind of closing up with the handwork that we did. We can walk back up the forearm, giving it a gentle squeeze, all those muscles, and the biceps and triceps, and the deltoid. And coming back into the neck. So at this point, I would go ahead and work on the other arm, going through that sequence that we already showed with the arm rotations and the pinning and movement, working all the way down into the forearm as well as the hand. And once you've completed that, we'll just close up shop with a couple of stretches. that will really give some nice continuity and lasting benefit towards your clients. So I'm going to have Courtney sit up, and I'm going to move behind her to help stretch. So with your clients seated but propped up, no longer with their face in the face cradle, you're going to come to one side and just place the soft part of your forearm into the top part of their shoulder and apply a gentle downwards pressure. Then have the client move their head so that the opposite ear is coming to the opposite shoulder. And just stopping wherever feels comfortable for them and encouraging them to take a few deep breaths here. And if they want to make any small, slight turns to accentuate the stretch here, they can do so. And then whenever they're ready, having them inhale and come back to center. And they're repeating that on the opposite side. The next stretch that I'm going to show is having the client interlace their fingers and bring it behind the head. And then you're going to take, there's a couple different variations. You can do the outer part of your hip inside and literally just kind of place it into their back. You're going to have the client inhale, and then as they exhale, just lean back, letting them rock back, and you're going to traction the shoulders open. So you can really let your weight come into me, Courtney. Just really relax and enjoy the stretch. Take a couple deep breaths here. And then having them come back to center and the arms down. So that was one variation. Another variation is you can actually turn completely around and have them go ahead and interlace their hands again. I'm going to move the mic too. And then with your back side, just coming back and tractioning. So really encouraging them to let their weight go. And Courtney is pretty flexible, but most people won't be able to bring their arms as far back. And then slowly shifting your weight back towards the center, releasing the stretch. So again, my name is Meera Hoffman with Houston Chair Massage. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned some great techniques to use with your friends or your clients. And make sure to favorite this video so you can come back and watch it in the future. And subscribe to the Psychetruth YouTube channel so you can find out hundreds of tips on wellness, more massage moves, ASMR. There's something for everyone. Wish you a most beautiful day. Thank you again.